Hello, my name is Mickey Peters. Some of you may have seen the video interview I did with Samuel last month. It was released earlier this month, talking about a video series on recovery. I've personally been in 12-step recovery from sex addiction since 2001, since my initial disclosure. And so what we're going to try to do with this video series is kind of demystify recovery. I'm going to talk about my own experience with the recovery and talk about the steps, talk about some of the principles, how it's worked in my life, and hopefully get people more comfortable with the concept and maybe even identifying as an addict and beginning a program for yourself in 12-step recovery. So this first video, I'm going to focus on the benefits of recovery, talk about 6 benefits that I've seen in my own life through working in a program and being active in 12-step recovery. But before I do that, I would like to address the initial resistance that everybody, I don't think anybody's ever embraced being an addict at first, but so everybody resists the diagnosis as an addict. I was lucky. I took the test, the 12-step test for a sex addict, passed it with flying colors. Stephanie was pregnant, had an affair partner who was pregnant at the time back in 2001, was acting out with pornography, so it's pretty clear that I was an addict. So I, as much as I may have wanted to resist, I couldn't. The facts, the evidence was clear. I think to normalize that initial negative reaction to even somebody talking about you being an addict is normal. If you think you might be an addict, assume that you are and begin recovery as soon as possible. The reason I say that is I've seen a lot of men and women over the years come into the rooms or in affair recovery, initially resist the diagnosis of being an addict, and then so not get into a program, not address that issue, and then months or years later come back because they've started acting out again when the pressure's off and circumstances are right, and so then they've confirmed that they're an addict, usually with higher consequences and bigger, larger acting out activities. So I'd say it's safer to just assume that you are. I've never seen anybody regret that, right? Coming in and saying, you know what, I'm not sure, but I'm going to assume I am, and start working a program. Why do recovery? What are the benefits to doing the work and going to meetings and participating in a program of recovery? First and foremost is, of course, getting sober from bottom line behaviors. You know, acting out with pornography, with whatever that bottom line behavior may be for you, you want to stop that. You want to stop acting out. And that's really what the number one benefit is. But I would say that it's only the foundation. It's not enough to say, I just want to stop acting out. That's all I want to do. That's really just a foundation. Once you've stopped acting out, then you can actually begin the real work and really see the benefits of recovery. And that's what I would say, again, it's a foundation, but it's not enough. The second benefit is having a closer relationship with God. In recovery, we refer to that as the higher power. When I say recovery, that could be a 12-step program like Sex Addicts Anonymous, Sex and Love Addicts Anonymous, or through Celebrate Recovery. So any of those would fall under the umbrella of what I'm calling recovery. But we call it a higher power to be more generic, more receptive to other faith or people that don't have faith, that aren't spiritual. But having said that, recovery, 12-step recovery is a spiritual program. And for me personally, it's where I really connected God to my daily life. Before recovery, it was more intellectual, more Sundays and special moments and conferences. But recovery is really where God got a hold of me because I was desperate. I was in a sense, in a lot of urgency, needed to save my marriage, my family. He had my attention, and I have a much closer relationship with him because of recovery. Third benefit is an increased self-awareness. Through recovery, working the steps, working with the sponsors, sharing the meetings, hearing other people share, you're going to be able to peel back the onion and really start to understand why you did and why you do the things you do. And that, I've read many times, is an amazing asset to have, an amazing resource is to be aware and understand yourself better. And you will definitely get that in 12-step recovery. The next benefit would be connection with other men and or women. And when you go to a meeting and you say, hello, my name is Mickey and I'm a sex addict. that sort of sets the tone for the level of sharing that happens there. And so what you see is, because you're sharing very deep things and talking about things in meetings and with others on phone calls that you would never thought you would share, you get to develop very deep and meaningful relationships with other people. And so you can practice being honest and being transparent, talking about triggers and feelings and defects that you're dealing with. And that's an amazing resource. And I would say today I have probably a dozen or so friends that I've developed through recovery. Once you work through the 12 steps, the 12th step is sponsoring people. And so you have opportunity to be of service to others. And the benefit there is, of course, as you work through the steps with another person, you deepen your own understanding of of those steps and the principles. You begin to own it yourself because you're actually teaching and helping someone else understand it. When they share what they're learning and what they're uncovering in their lives, of course, that provokes you in a good way and helps you dig deeper into your own stuff, your own issues. And really, for me, most importantly, as I'm being of service to another person, it gets my mind off myself. I'm at my most miserable when I'm worried about me and what I'm not getting, what I think I should be getting. And when my mind is on someone else, it's not on me. And I've found that to be a tremendous benefit for me over the years. The last benefit that I'll mention, so many times when Steph and I participate in the weekends, the EMS weekends, or EMS online, or Harboring Hope or Hope for Healing, the question is, how can I get my wife or husband to trust me again? Will they ever be able to trust me again? And what I used to use a phrase that I'd say I love, hate, is, you can't talk yourself out of something you behaved yourself into, but you can behave yourself out of it. And what does that mean? Is that as your spouse sees you working a program, going to meetings, making phone calls, doing therapy, if that's a part of it, and they see that you're committed, you're dedicated over a period of months and years, and then they see the changed behavior, they see a different attitude, you're owning your mistakes, you're able to show some empathy, some compassion, listen better, share your feelings, talk about fears and anxieties, they start to see a different you. They start to see changed behavior, and then all of a sudden you'll see that ability to trust you as long as you're working your program begin to return, and that's such an important thing, and I know matters to so many people who find themselves in those shoes. Hopefully some of that resonates with you and you're able to see that, wow, I'd like to have maybe not all of those, but 2 or 3 of those things. And in future videos, I'll be talking about the steps and talking about some of the principles in recovery. Hopefully what I've shared today has been a benefit to you, and I look forward to future videos. Thank you.